Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. This afternoon, we're talking about unlocking the potentials within you. The potentials within you, within your house, or within your reach. I once read a book from Pastor Efion in which he described a documentary on TV he had watched. There was a lady truck driver, a tough woman who traveled from places to places with a truck. And one of her journeys, in one of the villages she stopped, she bought a painting. She found the painting and she liked it. And the seller was able to sell it for her for $5. There was no receipt for it. It was just a $5. So she put it in the cabin of the truck for many years until she retired. When she retired, she was clearing. She had to clear the truck. And then she found this painting. She took it home and put it under the bed in the visitor's room, in the guest room. One day she watched this TV program where they were discussing popular artists and their paintings and that their value in thousands of dollars. She remembered that her painting. She quickly took it to the art and gallery shop next to her in her neighborhood. And the director of the gallery shop took a look at it and asked her to give him an hour. So he went and did some tests on it. After an hour, he came from his office and told the lady that there was a chance it could be the painting of one of the masters, Jonathan Pollock, but he was not definitely sure it was Jonathan Pollock's painting or not. And she had no receipts to prove its value anyway. So he offered her casually $100,000 US. He offered her $1,000 US for it. The lady did not accept the offer. She just guessed that, oh, this might be what she saw on the telly. So she took it to other galleries in New York and went to the National Gallery where they had the equipment to find out the genuineness of the painting. So it was tested to be genuine work of this famous artist. And the worth was in excess of $11 million. Can you imagine the number of years that the painting was lying waste under the bed in this woman's house? But this is something within her, within that house, that can bring about the miracle she was expecting. You know? Another one very close to us here in England is the antique show, the antique road show, you know, here in England. There was this man, this family, a family really. The woman actually came from Kenya originally many years ago. She got settled in England, and all her life she was dreaming and wishing she would be able to go with all the family, with the children, to travel on holiday to Kenya. She wanted the kids to go and see the moonlight stories and how she grew up in Kenya and all those things, but they didn't have the resources. They couldn't afford it. But one day the man was actually on the bike in the house exercising, and while exercising, he was watching the telly. He now watched the program, the Antiques Road Show. In that program, he now saw how things in people's houses, things that people think were nothing, they thought were invaluable, were actually going for thousands of pounds. So she invited them to his own house. When the antique expert entered the house, just looking at the room, he asked them, do you have a clue how much money you have in this room? And the lady answered, there is no money here. He told the antique roadshow man that came to visit the house, and there was no money in the room. So the man started picking things after things. The first thing he picked was an abandoned dentist cupboard, 18th century one. Then he found another case of a makeup case, which this woman's grandma gave to her before she left Kenya many years ago. He took it again. He saw lots of things, makeup case, grandmother silver plated, this, garden shed, a lot of things. He picked them up. When they went to the antique road show program with all these antiques he found in their house, the first thing they were surprised to hear was that the grandma silver plated case will go for about 800 pounds, another item for 300 pounds, another for 250 pounds. Thousands of pounds were realized from that their garden and their bedroom and the room. So all the time she was thinking of having money to go on holidays to Kenya, all the time she was having this big dream of a big miracle someday, she did not know that the potential, the money to, the potential that would bring that money was in that house. There were things that have the ability to bring that money for the holiday right in that house. This is what we're saying, the potentials with you. There are some things in you that is enough to solve the problem you're facing currently. Let's look at the life of this widow in the Bible. In 2 Kings chapter 4, from verse 1 to 7, I will read. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. Now, there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, Thy servant my husband is dead, and thou knowest that the servant did fear the Lord, and the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. And Elisha said unto her, What shall I do for thee? What do you have in the house? And she said, Thy handmaid had nothing in the house except a jar of oil. Then he said, Go, borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and thou shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. So she went from him and shut the door upon her and upon her sons, who brought the vessels to her. And she poured out, and it came to pass, when the vessels were full, that she said unto her son, Bring me yet a vessel. And he said unto her, There is not a vessel more. And the oil stayed. Verse 7, the last verse I'll be reading. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, Go, sell the oil, and pay thy debt, and leave thou and thy children of the rest. Can we see how he started? That thing she called nothing. The man of God said, What do you have in your house to solve this problem? You said the creditors have come to take your sons. What do you have in your house? She might have been thinking the man of God will put money in her dip his hand in the church treasury and give her some money to pay the debt. But the man of God asked her, What do you have in your house? Just like you and I. They will say, What is it within you? What is that gift in you? What has God deposited in you that is enough to turn your story around? And all you will say is, Nothing. I have nothing. I need help. That's all you will say. Because your eyes is not open to see those hidden potentials in you. Those hidden treasure. Potential is that thing you have not tapped. Is that unused energy. It's your capped capacity, your reserved energy, your unused success. It's what you really are that is yet to be known. It's what is on talents that you have not yet unleashed talents, untapped power, untapped power, untapped ability, dormant ability in you. The thing is there, but it's dormant. She said she had nothing except a jar of oil. Thank God she added a jar of oil. For her to have said nothing initially, it meant the oil was nothing to her. The oil was insignificant. It was little. To her, it was not important. That is how you and I are. The things we have, we say they are nothing. We say they are little, they are not important. And what we don't have is what we start looking for. We place more value on that. We want us to think this afternoon a bit inward on what is in that house, what is already in you. You have to ask yourself some questions, some deep questions you ask yourself that will unravel those things that God has deposited in you already. Everyone that is born of God, in the life of every believer in Christ, there is a deposit, there is a potential, there is a measure of grace that God has placed in you. He told Jeremiah, before you were born, I formed you. I have known you. I have already ordained you to be what? To be this, to be this, to be this, to approve, to be a preacher, So before you came to this world, now your future that you're worried about is already in you. The gifts are there. It's up to you now to manifest those things. We human beings, we like to say things about what we do not have more as being responsible for our present situation. In this 20-minute sermon today, I pray the Lord will open our eyes to the things that we think are nothing and that we've ignored. It happened. It is the normal default in human in humans that the moment a situation arises, the first thing that comes to your mind is what you do not have. You forget about what you have. You now say what you do not have. It happened when Jesus had a chat with his disciples in Mark chapter 8, from verse 13 to 20. That is another human nature, where we just say what we don't have is more important and the reason for our current lack. Jesus was talking to them about the Pharisees that came earlier to tempt him. And their answer, because they were human, the response they gave to Jesus Christ straight away was that we had no bread. Jesus was in the ship with them, and they said, we have no bread. Let me read it quickly. Mark chapter 8, from verse 14 to 20. I read. Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf. They only had a loaf in the ship. And Jesus charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have no bread. And when Jesus knew it, he said to them, why reason ye because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not, neither ye understand? Have ye your heart yet hardened? Having eyes, see ye not? They have eyes, but they cannot see. Having ears, hear ye not? And do ye not remember when I brake the 5 loaves among 5,000? How many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said unto him, 12 baskets. And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments? And they said to him, 7. And he said unto them, how is it that ye do not understand? Jesus was there with them, and they were saying they have no bread. That was the reason why they will not take heed of the Pharisees. That was all their answers. What Jesus was asking them was totally different, and their response went to what they did not have quickly. When they have the King of Kings with them, the man who made 5 loaves to feed 5,000 and still had 12 baskets left. Just like you and I, what is our identity? When you are faced with a problem, the first thing you should do is, who are you? Who am I? You need to identify first who you are, which is in John chapter 1, verse 11 to 13. He said to those who believe, he gave them the power to become daughters and sons of the Lord. To them who believe, he gave them the power to become sons and daughters of the Lord. So if you know you are the son of the Most High God, and your God has all things, he said he will supply all your needs. Why will you lack? Why will you say you have nothing? Will you, if you were God, the Father, will any of your child come to you and you say you have nothing to give? You will not give them what they want? He said he will supply all your needs. You need to know, identify yourself first. Like these disciples, they didn't identify that they were the disciples of the man that is in that boat, that is the Son of God, that was able to turn 5 loaves of bread to feed 5,000 and still had 12 baskets left. They forgot that. You need to remember, when you are in situations like this, what the Lord has done to you before, and he can do again. That was what David remembered when he got to the battle with Goliath. He said, the Lord had helped me to kill bear and lion before. So that same God will help me to cut the head of this Philistine and give to the birds of the air today. What is that, your own jar of oil? You remember that woman said she had nothing but that jar of oil. Your own jar of oil is that unique thing to you. Let's explore possibilities of what your jar of oil could be. Please do all that you need to do to discover what God has given to you that is unique to you, that God has equipped you for whatever you're facing now. The moment the situation arises, you need to know what is in you. What is it? You ask the right questions. You need to ask the right questions. What do I really need in this? Where do I really start from? What do I have in me? What are my strengths? What are my skills? What can I do without too much stress? How can I turn that into what other people need? How can I start doing it with just a little bit of money? What do I have which I have long neglected? A lot of people, when pursued a career in the university, actually went to medical school, and they couldn't find what they wanted in it until they became a musician. Until the person became a musician, is where his passion is, and then they became millionaires from it. For instance, this Dr. Sid in Nigeria, he's a doctor as well. Look at fella, his parents sent him to come and to medical school. He said, no, my passion is music, and that is what he was known for. What is that thing in you? Some people, if you know you can make people to laugh, why don't you go into that comedy? Some people had other university degree, they couldn't find a job until they realized that when I speak, people laugh, they became comedians and they became millionaires from it. What is, you like to make hair, if you do realize that when you make people's hair, they like it and they say it's nice. What stops you from making hair? Alan Sanders, the founder of KFC, was at the verge of committing suicide after retiring as a cook in the Navy until he took that idea to open a restaurant. How can you imagine that idea that frying chicken will make you a multi-millionaire? He took it. He opened a restaurant, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's all over the world now. If you know you can fry chicken, why don't you launch into it? What is that hidden thing in you that you're seeing as nothing? That hidden potential, that unused energy in you, that unleashed talent in you. Cristiano Ronaldo told his dad, he told his dad that he will be very rich, and until he became one of the richest footballers, the best footballers in the world. He became one of the best footballers in the world. Don't say it is what you don't have. Dangote, the richest man in Africa, he said he worked for his uncle and he took the first loan from his uncle to open a tiny shop. He realized that going to pursue a clinical university degree was not his passion. His passion was in business. And he took the first loan from his uncle. So God has placed some relationships with you that you need to harness, but you are not seeing it. He saw the relationship he has with his uncle. He harnessed it by taking the first loan from him. Today, even banks are coming to loan money from him, from Dangote, the richest black man in the world. Correctly identifying and harnessing the relationship God places in your life will not only make your journey easier, but will also provide for you those things which you do not possess, but which others can give to you easily. There are resources within you. What about your classmates? Do all that is necessary to discover what that God has given to you and the resources within you or within your reach. You might be singing people's song today. Meanwhile, you can write your song, you can compose your own songs. But your fear is, I can't afford it. I don't have the money to produce a record. What about the next man, your next man neighbor that has a recording studio? Have you harnessed that relationship? Have you harnessed that potential that you might speak to him and he will be willing to do the recording for you for free and launch you to the world? Remember Susan Boyle, right here in England with us. She was on benefits, she was broke. She was even overdraft on the day she took the decision to go for X Factor. You all saw her first appearance, the way she looked. You saw what the clothing she wore. And that one singular decision that, oh, I can sing, let me try my luck, made Susan Boyle multi-millionaire today. Susan Boyle became millionaire. They signed her for records quickly in America because of that hit. She had that gift in her long ago, how to sing, but she did not tap it. She did not activate that gift. What is that gift that is dormant in you? That gift, that potential, you need to unleash that potential in you. Activate it. Tomorrow's night, the cemetery is one of the richest places in the world. People are buried with ideas in them they never launched out. They are buried with the books they never wrote. They are buried with the music they never sang. You're going to pray that you do not want to go to the cemetery with ideas in you that you did not launch, you did not manifest. You need to open your spiritual eyes to see that which is in you that you need to do to launch you to the miracle you're expecting. Those things you see as little as a, remember that family that kept that paintings, that woman that kept the painting under the bed. And look at that family that had lots of things in the antique in their garden. And look at the woman that went to the man of God and said she had nothing. But that nothing she had was all she needed to solve the problem, to become very rich. What is that thing in you? Do not let people place a value on you. You determine your value yourself. When you ask someone, please, who are you? The next thing you say, oh, I'm a tailor, I'm a plumber, I'm a key worker. No, that is what you do. That is not what you are. What you do is different from what you are. You need to place a value on yourself, you understand? And the moment a situation arises in your life, think of what you have. John Wonder, the famous American coach, said, don't let what you do not have to stop you from doing what you can do and should do. Move from natural defaults of the mind. I can't do this, I can't afford it. Let the Spirit of God remind you that you can do it and you have what it takes to do it. You're going to take this prayer point because it will take divine revelation for you to see the invisible. Jesus said to them, they have eyes, but they could not see. The eyes of your spirit need to be opened so you begin to see those things which God has already provided for and are right in you and within your reach. That is just the essence of this talk this afternoon. For you to look inwards, what you have, the gift in you. Don't let it lie dormant. Activate it. Take a step. You can do it. Ask the right questions. So you close your eyes and you take this prayer point. Father, open my eyes to see the invisible. Let me see beyond the ordinary. Let me see those things you've deposited in me that are hidden. Let me see my hidden potential. Let me see the gifts in me. Because everyone came to this world loaded with a gift. And the world is waiting for you to launch. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Glory be to God in heaven. The Christ Apostolic Church, WOSEM, CAC WOSEM Backing Branch invites you to Uplifting Prayer Services, a series of wonderful monthly prayer meetings aimed at transforming your life for good. On every last day of each month, between 7:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. is powerful revival prayer meeting tagged Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. Yes, the Lord God that never fails. Of course, He won't fail you. So come to Him with all your burdens on the last day of every month and meet with Oluwa Olorun Koseunti. While our monthly night vigil service comes up every third Friday of every month, tagged Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun, hour of victory. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun lórí májẹ̀mú òkùnkùn. Àkókò Ìṣẹ́gun lórí ogun ìpínlẹ̀ ìdílé àti àwọn ogun tí ń bá ní jà, tí ń bá ní fira. Your victory is here at last. You are also invited to be part of our Sunday family worship service every Sunday. Time 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Ministering Dr. Ronke Adegbulugbe, host minister, and other anointed ministers of God. Pastor Paul Obadari, General Overseer CAC WOSEM, personally wants you to come and experience the power of God that can never fail you. With Oluwa Olorun Koseunti in your life, you are bound to receive healing, deliverance, salvation, breakthrough, and of course divine settlement as you wishes. Venue, the Ripple Center, number 121 to 125 Ripple Road, Barking, London IG 117FN. The Ripple Center is opposite Lido and is just 7 minutes walk from Barking Station. Buses 287, 387, 368, 687 and bus 62 or EL1 and EL2 will take you there. For more information or one-on-one prayer requests, please telephone 07986 767 604. That is 07986 767 604, or send us an email at cacwosemlondon01@gmail.com. Please connect with us on our social media platforms. Join our live stream prayer service every week via Zoom and Facebook Live. Our Zoom ID is 82457726 That is 82457726 Facebook handle CAC WOSEM Mount Victory. YouTube CAC WOSEM London Backing. We look forward to a great fellowship with you as your miracle awaits you in Jesus' mighty name.